Hello, good morning, welcome. So, here we are again. I've got a couple of kits to show you today. These are both Revell boxings or Revell boxings of Matchbox kits. The armour kits from the 70s, I suppose, and the 80s. So they're in one is 76 scale, and they come with dioramas. So it's not really that evident on the boxes, actually. And that's one of the things that I do love about the Matchbox kits, is the fact that particularly this kind of series of armour kits by Matchbox, is that they came with a base and a diorama to create a realistic diorama. So we'll have a look inside. I bought them quite recently. Bought them on eBay, I think. Not particularly expensive. You know, for the most part. I've got quite a few others to show you as well. But what I like about these is the fact that they're not the original kind of Matchbox kits. I mean, which I would hesitate to kind of build. Yeah, so these kits aren't in the usual kind of Matchbox multicoloured plastic. They're just in the usual kind of plastic colours that you get for kits. So let's have a look inside the boxes. So first up is this one, which is the Revell L.R.D.G 30CWT Chevrolet and Jeep. Okay. There's actually one of these Chevrolets in the Imperial War Museum in London. So if you want to see that, I mean, really for reference, but to see the kind of size of one of these things, yeah, it's great actually. It's got flat tires, but it is an actual L.R.D.G Chevrolet truck. I mean, we're all familiar with these, aren't we? These Jeeps, and in fact, in parts of Rajasthan, there's a company called Mahindra which still builds the Willys Jeep, but on license. They tend to use them as taxis. I think they kind of extend the kind of chassis, because they use them as taxis in the rear part of the vehicle. There's some kind of seating, so that, yeah, the wheelbase is kind of longer, and they use it for kind of seating. So rather than kind of like jerry cans as they've got in this version, the original kind of wartime version, they've got like maybe they've got seating for people, seating and, well, standing room as well. So they tend to come with kind of a canvas cover over the top. Okay, so it says the Chevrolet is 7.3 centimetres and the Jeep is 4.3 centimetres. And this is kit number 03225. So I've had a look in the box, I've opened it up. I do intend to build this one. I've got another one that I won't be building. I'll keep that just for fun. Let's have a look, let's see what we got. And we'll have a look at the instructions and things in a minute, and the decals. So we've got kind of 3 sprues, and I think if these were the original Matchbox kits, these may have been in 3 different colours. But I like this because it's in a you know, just a kind of a tan or a sort of a sandy colour, which is nice, really nice. So I'll move these out of the way a second, so you can see, you've got a better idea. You can see what's going on here. Look at this. So beautifully moulded, aren't they? You've got some kind of wood textures going on in the background here and here. You've got some, I don't know about riveting, but there's some sort of thing going on the top of the bonnet there. You've got the grille there. You've got the wheels. Yeah. Oh, that's for the Jeep. I think that's the Jeep there. This is probably for the Chevrolet. So you've got parts for both the Chevrolet and the Jeep here. I think these are for helping the Chevrolet get out of the, or the Jeep for that matter, get out of when they get stuck in sand. So you've got the front of the Jeep there. You've got something that's kind of canvas and rolled up there. Yep. You've got some kind of like texture on the background there. Sorry, at the bottom there, you can see that, I think, picked up by the light there. There's some sort of foot plate, I think, on the sides of the Chevrolet. Again, the one in the Imperial War Museum is really impressive to see a vehicle like that. I mean, it's not in kind of museum condition. It's not newly painted. They haven't restored it. But what I like about it is the fact that they haven't restored it. Much of the paint has come off. I'm not sure where it came from. I should actually read the kind of description or the inscription at the museum the next time I visit to see if I can get any more detail from that. But yeah, very nicely moulded. Still pretty crisp after all these years. Amazing, really good. Next up, we got the base for the diorama, which is very good. In fact, look at that. So you got all sorts here. You've got kind of boxes and crates, and these seem to be sort of like jerry cans. You got all kinds of bits of rubble and some sort of, I don't know, what is it, demijohn or like a jar of some kind. You've got like another kind of jar down there. Crater, some tire tracks. So yeah, there's lots going on here. It's great, really good. Got some jerry cans, the steering wheel, steering column, I think. I'm not sure what those are. I think he's not the driver, he's the, I don't know, is he the driver? Maybe. No, I don't think he's the driver. I think he's, well, no. Doesn't seem to be holding on at the steering wheel. Maybe they've kind of stopped in the scene that's kind of depicted by Matchbox. Let's have a look. So we've got all kinds of, so we've got loads of jerry cans down here, because obviously they were pretty stocked up on things that were going to sustain them on their missions, kind of behind enemy lines. Got an oil drum there. A couple of seats, a bit of flash on those. You clean those up, no problem. So this is part 21, the base, and obviously they've got rid of the Matchbox kind of copyright stuff there. Yeah. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, so that what we got here, we got some sort of wall here, or the wall of a building that's been damaged and destroyed. You've got the wheels. You've got another guy here with some binoculars. You see him? Yeah, he's got some binoculars. And he's got this guy here, he's got some sort of sun goggles or some sort of goggles on here. I'll just see if I can get that closer so you can see him. But again, very good. Wow, so you've got some really tiny Thompson machine guns here. And I can't remember what you call these. These were the kind of disc-shaped kind of magazine on the top there. And that seems to be some sort of Vickers machine gun there. And I'm not sure what that is. What is that? Is it a Bren gun maybe? No, it hasn't got the magazine at the top there. I'm not sure what that is. So yeah. Very nice. Very good. Okay, let's have a look at the instructions. So the LRDG actually stands for Long Range Desert Group. I forgot to mention that, but yeah. So you've got the technical data for the Chevrolet, you've got the technical data for the Jeep, you've got a bit of blurb here and a description of, you know, what they were doing. Yeah, it says, this is an interesting detail. You know, basically the soldiers had no specific equipment or uniform. The soldiers wore whatever was expedient at the time. So that, you know, I mean, that's the reason for everyone kind of pretty much wearing whatever was kind of comfortable for these missions. Bearing in mind that it would have been very, very cold at night in the desert, very hot during the day, and very cold at night. So you got the colour call outs, you got all sorts here. What have you got here? Read before you start, or so there's a few tips about modelling here. like an index of the symbols, colour kind of call outs, which are quite useful, I suppose, aren't they? And then you've got the 3 sprues, yeah. And then we just go through kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down to 9. And then, so there are 32 parts to these instructions. I mean, they are quite fiddly. I made the 17-pounder gun. Yeah. And that comes with some sort of European kind of building, burnt out building or shop. But yeah, I mean, the being 1/76th scale, the Jeep is pretty teeny weeny, really. The difference between 1/76th scale and 1/72 scale is you know, it's big enough. So 1/76th scale, these things do tend to be a little bit smaller and fiddlier for kind of adult fingers or grown-up fingers, because obviously when most of us made these kits back in the 70s and 80s, you know, we were kids, and you know, we had much smaller fingers, and we were able to kind of much more kind of nimble at kind of dealing with these very, very small parts. Although we did get glue all over these models, didn't we? Or most of us did. And our fingers as well. So yeah, I mean, it's great. Very clear. The instructions are very clear. A lot of these kind of location points and things like that, I think I noticed the last time I built one of these Jeeps, I mean, they weren't great. I mean, it's fine. I imagine this is the same, it's very similar, if not the same tooling as or derived from the same tooling as the one in the 17-pounder and Morris kind of truck kit. So once you've kind of built your kind of chassis and all the rest of the kind of Jeep here, and added the suspension and the wheels, you can add your figures. Obviously you wouldn't add them at this point, but then you start adding all the kind of jerry cans and the boxes and all the kind of stuff that they had to take with them, the water and the provisions for the mission. And yeah, you can see they've even got, I mean, these things are pretty kind of loaded down with all kinds of things. So a pretty heavily armed little vehicle as well, because they had to be able to look after themselves. You can see, hold on, let's bring this one up to the camera so you can see they're pretty heavily armed. Yeah. So they have to be able to fight their way into their objective and fight their way out if necessary, or at least defend themselves. And I think aircraft were pretty much a constant hazard, so they had to hide themselves kind of during the day, and maybe travelled mostly at night. Let's look at this. Okay, so this is for the Chevrolet. So that previous page was for the Jeep, and this is for the Chevrolet. Yeah, so yeah, wheel suspension, you know, exhaust. And you've got the back of the vehicle here. Yeah. Where they put most of the gear and themselves, some of the crew, and then you've got the kind of dashboard and the steering wheels and the gear sticks and things. And yeah, quite fiddly to put together. So yeah, it looks like one of these is the driver. Yeah, this guy's supposed to be the driver. He's pointing something out here, and this is the guy that's kind of looking through the binoculars. They're kind of seated next to each other in the front of the vehicle there. He's got his Thompson machine gun by the side. Actually, I do have the Tamiya version of this vehicle, the Chevrolet. Again, for depicting the L.R.D.G, and it's really nice. Really good. So again, well worth building that one. And it comes with quite a few figures as well. So let's have a look. Yeah, So you've got the bedding and things like that, and these all kind of rolled up. Some jerry cans, like a big kind of drum there. And maybe for water. You've got the, what's this, Vickers machine gun with a magazine and things like that there. You can see where it is. So these vehicles were pretty heavily modified and customised for the missions or for the job at hand. Yeah. So not all of there was no, I don't think there were standard vehicles. I think every kind of crew probably had its own vehicle, and they were able to customise them as they wished. And like I said, these things seem to be for kind of helping them get out when they got stuck in the sand. Again, some more kind of rolled up kind of stuff there. Seem to be kind of canvas. These seem to be kind of like things that you would roll out to stop the sand getting in the sides there. Sort of part of the vehicle, for the comfort of the drivers. Again, pretty heavily armed. You got another machine gun here, so you've got at least 2 machine guns here, and they've all got individual sidearms. Okay. All right. So this couple of drums here, sort of oil drums, are kind of like they're being used for some sort of signpost. And that's how the diorama's only 2 pieces really. I mean, if you wanted to, you could fill in the back of that, and you could improve it a little bit, make it a little bit more realistic. But these things are, they're fun to build, and very nicely molded. I mean, I love these all Matchbox kits by Revell. It's great because we get to build them. We don't have to feel guilty about building a vintage Matchbox kit. Okay, so I forgot to mention the decal sheet, so just to give you an idea of that. So it's copyright 2007 by Revell. Yeah, it's printed in Italy for Revell. So I'm not sure that's printed by. But yeah, I mean, there's not much of that. These things didn't have many markings on them anyway. Certainly not that many, I wouldn't have thought. You didn't really want high-vis markings on vehicles that you were desperately trying to camouflage most of the time. I mean, they would have been covered in dust and sand and all sorts anyway. But yeah, all right. Okay, that's it. Moving swiftly on. Okay, so next up, Monty's Caravan by Revell. Originally by Matchbox, but reboxed by Revell, thankfully. So yeah, it's 1/76 scale again, kit number 03227. And yeah, it's a Leyland Retriever and Scout car. So there's your Scout car and there's your Leyland kind of Retriever. And it says the truck is a maximum, I guess this is the length, isn't it? So it's 11 centimeters long, and the car is or the Scout car is 4.8 centimeters. It's interesting, isn't it, the way they put like a comma in there rather than a point. Always annoys me. It's not very decimal, is it, a comma? Doesn't feel like it is anyway. Okay. The usual stuff on the back there. I mean, the boxes aren't really that interesting. They're certainly nowhere near as nice as the Matchbox boxes, which were really beautiful. But I mean, I'm not buying this for the box or the box art. I'm buying this for the fun of building these Matchbox kits again. Right, so let's have a look. Right, so we got 3 sprues. I'll show them to you. Okay. So yeah, 3 sprues there, and it's in this kind of dark, kind of greeny kind of plastic, which is a bit annoying. I mean, I prefer just grey, just a simple grey would do me. And yeah, I mean, I suppose I could spray a bit of primer on it, but yeah, it's always a bit easier, isn't it, if the colour that the kit is moulded in, or the colour of the plastic is a little bit is on the sort of medium kind of grey side, or dark plastic is always a little bit more of an effort to work out what things are, which way things could go, because they, yeah, I mean, we're talking about eyesight, aren't we now as well? So really, anyway, let's have a look at these sprues one by one. So I'll move these to the side. Swiftly over those. We'll have a look at these. So this is sprue. What sprue is this one? Does it say? No. I'll find out the instructions in a minute, but yeah. So we've got plenty going on here. Got some sort of canvas covering for the Leyland retriever, for the Caravan, as it were. We've got the side kind of armour, I think, for the scout car. That's the kind of like the base of the truck there. Got the sides of the truck. This is interesting. This is nice. You've got the windows. One of these is actually halfway open. These are closed. So you can see that there. That's really nice. Nice detail. I mean, very, very nice detail, really, when you think about it. I mean, to go to that effort in those days to kind of make kits as detailed as this is great, isn't it? That's what we all loved about them. And you've got like some wooden sides here. And then this seems to be kind of material or kind of canvas. Yeah, canvas kind of pulled over a frame by the looks of it. Again, some more parts for the scout car. Yeah, that's the underside of the scout car. I think this is the door for the Caravan. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of texture and detail going on here. It's beautiful, really nice, really, really nice. Okay, put that to one side. Got another one here, another sprue. Right, okay, so we've got Monty here, by the looks of it. That's probably him there. Gesturing to something, or maybe that's him there, actually. Yeah, he seems a bit more portly, doesn't he, this figure here? And, oh, would it have been this one? I'm not quite sure, I don't know. What was he wearing, Monty, in those days? I thought he wore a beret, personally. He seems to be kind of gesticulating towards some sort of map on a table. I haven't looked at the instructions properly yet, but I think that's vaguely from memory. Well, that's what it was. So these are from the underside of the Caravan, of the larger vehicle. You've got a Bren gun there. You've got, I don't know what those are there. There's some sort of ammo by the looks of it. These seem to be, are they ammo? Or are they something else? Are they part of the suspension or something like that? Maybe the wheels or something. Got some oil drums. This is really nice as well. Look at that. Look at the detail on that. This is like a cobbled street with a sculpture that's been destroyed or knocked over during fighting. And then you've got some, I'm not sure what they're meant to be, but you've got like some sort of window frame or, you know, some sort of stonework there. You've got all kinds of bricks and things like that going on here. You've even got a drain here, like down the side, the gutter. And you've got also got, which is really, really nice detail, you've got these kind of tram lines for a tram. Or a trolley bus, yeah, or a tram. Very nice. Amazing detail, really. And you think about the techniques they use to achieve all of this detail. It's amazing. Really, really good. Really, yeah. I never really thought of building this one before. I guess it wasn't really a subject that really appealed to me at the time because it didn't have guns and, you know, armour and a turret and things like that. But I think these days I would like to build it. And of course you can build the Monty's Caravan. You can build that in ICM have released that fairly recently, haven't they? So you could actually build a 1/35th scale if you didn't want to go down to this very fiddly 1/76 scale. But yeah, really very nice. Very nice there. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, all right, okay, so this is the pavement now. So if we have a look at that, so that seems to join onto there like that, yeah. But again, very nice. Yeah, the curb and the pavement and the gutter are very nicely moulded there. Very nice, lovely. And so we got the wheels, which are pretty much done in one piece, which is great. You've got the kind of like the cover for the cab of the Leyland Retriever. Seems to be a panel at the top there. I'm not sure what that's for. What are these like? The petrol tank or the fuel tanks on the side. Some sort of panels there. Is that the seating? I'm not quite sure. You've got another thing there. What is that? That seems to be some sort of material or kind of canvas covering for something. I'm not quite sure what really. I'll have a look at the instructions in a minute. You've got kind of some sort of frame here or handles or something like that there. You've got the steering wheel, steering column, or yeah, and you've got like, I'm not sure what those are. These are maybe for the interior of the Caravan. That's just a guess there because I'm not really quite sure. And yeah, very nicely moulded, all of it really. Right, let's have a look at the instructions. Did I just bash the camera there? Oh, that's all right, it's not too bad. Okay. All right, so yeah, these are the instructions. You know, your standard kind of booklet style by Revell. We're all familiar with these. Certainly not like the original Matchbox instructions, which tended to be quite a lot smaller. So this looks like, yeah, it's Germany, isn't it? Revell, Germany. Copyright 2007. So yeah, you've got your blurb here, Monty's Caravan blurb here. General Bernard Montgomery took over the British 8th Army. I think if I was building this, I'd probably build it in the 8th Army kind of version of it, because I mean, I know it was used in the European theatre as well after D-Day, but I think I would prefer to build the 8th Army version of this. So all the usual stuff at the beginning there. So we've got these kind of sprue maps. Okay, so you have these instructions. Let's see I'll just lift this a bit easier to hold it like that rather than hold the whole book. But you can see they've got some. They've bothered to put the Revell kind of contact blue in there. Very nice. Well, it is a lot easier actually building these tiny kits with the Revell glue, isn't it? Rather than the tube cement, which was absolutely really difficult to kind of control when we were kids. So you know, it makes I mean, even extra thin, using extra thin on these kits as well is really quite useful, because these things are teeny tiny compared to the 1/35th scale and even the 1/72 scales kits that I've built recently. Okay, so what we've got here, so just open that out. So yeah, you got all the usual kind of gubbins. You got the petrol tank, the spare wheel, what's that? The cab of the Retriever. Again, you know, the gear sticks and things like that. Steering column, steering wheel. That seems to be the top of the cab. Yeah, canvas cover. And you've got the so actually in this section you've kind of built up all the kind of chassis and the underside of the Caravan, the larger vehicle, and then on this page you're starting to construct the sub-assemblies, and then you add the cab to the chassis and the wheels, and and then we've got the mudguards, and then this is the rear of the Caravan. There seems to be quite a lot of detail in there, in fact. So you've got the door, two sides. So again, I mean, these are kind of different materials, so yeah, you'd have to kind of paint these quite kind of carefully. You've also got these, this is interesting, you've got these kind of rolls of canvas that were able to roll down over the windows to keep the light out, or maybe to keep the light from escaping the vehicle, but yeah, so yeah, it's all pretty straightforward. Really nice. It's actually quite a large vehicle, this, I think. all kinds of things going on here. I'm not sure what that is. What are those meant to be? Some sort of toolbox or boxes underneath here. Again, another one of these kind of roll-out things to protect the legs and to keep the wind or the weather off the legs of the driver, because it's pretty much, he hasn't got a door here. The wind and the water out probably. You've got some steps here as well, so you can kind of step. All right, okay, so this is like an awning or something, isn't it? So this is actually something that allows him to get in and out of the vehicle, so it's a cover. So if somebody's leaving the vehicle or knocking on the door to get into it, they're not necessarily standing under, you know, the rain or whatever it is, or the sun. What's that? All right, okay, right. Yeah, so this is the Scout car assembly. So again, very, very small, the Scout car. And interestingly, you've got the driver, and then you've got one of these I guess the driver's seat. He's straight onto the steering wheel, but then you've got this kind of guy to one side. Maybe that's the gunner's seat, or the I'm not sure what he is. So the engine's at the back on this thing. Okay, sorry. Yeah. I like the way it tells you to wait. So the one thing that I did find when I was building the 17-pounder and the Morris truck was that obviously there's no kind of like positive location points or pins. You know, these things you kind of you almost kind of just prop them together, or you've got to tape them up or something to get them to kind of sit in place. So assembling this would be very, very fiddly. As was, you know, building the Morris truck, it was pretty fiddly from what I can remember. Yeah, very fiddly for what it was. So without these pins or positive kind of location, you know, bumps or whatever you want to call them, it is quite tricky to join these things up, and so you do have to wait. You know, once you've glued them, you've got to wait and just be patient and take your time. Obviously, when we were all building these kits when we were kids, we weren't really that patient. We didn't really wait that long, which is why these kits in our fingers got covered in glue. But yeah, it's all about patience and just taking your time. And I got a really good result with the other kit that I built recently. All right, yeah. So these weren't ammo. These were for the wheels of the Scout car. So the suspension of the Scout car. Very nice. Okay, what we've got here, we've got the Bren gun on the top there. Some sort of bumper. I don't know what that is, or like it's like almost like bulldozer or something like that, maybe a bit of armor plating. And let's look at these here. So different figures. There you go. Yeah, I think this one's supposed to be Monty, isn't he? Okay, so this is what we've got here. So we've got a couple of oil drums, and then we've got like a table with a map on it. Now I suspect this is a decal, isn't it? A decal. And yeah, you've got these kind of like some sort of barriers or something. Or yeah, to kind of keep people out of this area that's been damaged or is falling down. There's at risk of falling down. Okay, right, okay, so that's all done. And then we've got the 3 different versions. So we've got Monty's Caravan, Soltau, Germany, 1945. Probably won't be doing that one. 2 Troop B Squadron, 1st Household Cavalry. Again, I haven't really looked at the colour call-outs here. And then you've got Monty's Caravan, 8th Army, 1942. I'd probably do this one. Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't realised that this awning thing, this bit of canvas here, kind of like comes down. at an angle, so when you're going into it, you go like that. It's not fully kind of open. I thought it was going to be fully open, but it seemed to be kind of propped up at an angle. That's interesting. Great, brilliant. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, so these are the decals, and we've got the usual kind of like vehicle registrations and things like that here. Seem to be some sort of stop sign of sort of hand painted by the looks of it, sort of stop sign. I think these seem to be the markings for the Jeep and these for the Caravan. I can't make the white ones out very clearly. You might be able to see them on the camera a little bit better than that when I move it around. And you've got a map here for the map table. And yeah, this just says printed in Italy for Revell, and it's got the kit number and Monty's Caravan. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Over and out. Thank you. Bye.